Big Brother Canada 4 has come to a close, which means it's time for another edition of the Reality TV RHAPpy Hour. What's going on, everybody? My name's Jordan Parhar, and I'm here with you once again to talk some BBCan 4 on RHAPhasawebsite.com with some former Big Brother house guests. And with me today, I am joined by two former U.S. alumni. They have a lot of things in common. They both host a podcast. They both went very deep into Big Brother 15, and they both do impressions. One does really good impressions of trolls on the internet, and that's the great McCrae Olsen, ladies and gentlemen. McCrae, how are you?
I only do great impressions because I was once a troll on the internet, so I know because I have been there.
McCrae, can you please do your internet troll impression for us?
I don't know exactly what you're talking about. It's like, God damn it! I don't know.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that was the one. It's sort of when you're like, blubby blubby blue.
Yeah, it's probably something like that. Sorry for the poop. Yeah.
And joining him today is somebody who has a great Tim Dormer impression. It's the great Spencer B. Clausen, ladies and gentlemen. Spencer, how are you?
Good day! See, I was able to come in right perfect with the Australian accent. Good. Thanks for having me. I'm glad we could get this party back together 3 days ago.
Yeah, no, it's great to get things going, Spencer. Oh man, no, I was on the block this past Friday, and I had a great time chatting with you guys at Talks of BBCan 4, and here we are. You guys are on with me to break down the latest episode, so it should be a lot of fun. And with me, as always, is a live feed correspondent. Today, I'm joined by my good buddy. He loves to throw the shade, and he's in the shade tonight. It's the great Brent Walgamont. Brent, how are you?
JP, can somebody just hurry up and win already? Come on! God, I hate her.
Brent, were you getting some hate for the Nikki shade you were throwing? Because I saw. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of a contrarian opinion, although I don't totally disagree. I feel like Nikki is kind of. I don't know.
She's useless, and no, I got a little bit of hate tweet for it, but everybody pretty much agreed with my Dallas assessment. But most of the people really don't understand my Levita love, although I kind of agree with them after watching her have her ass attached to Joel for the past 48 hours. It's pretty irritating, actually.
Okay, well, I guess this is a bad time for me to say that I love Ida, but we can save that for later. Alec Beal and I were talking about that the other day. Anyway, let's jump into this. So just to set things up for you guys, we are live on a Google Hangout. We are monitoring the chat room on RHAPhasawebsite.com. So thank you to everybody who's joining us live. If you want to leave a question for us, there's two ways you can do that. You can leave a comment on the YouTube video, so this video you're watching right now, or you can tweet me. I'm at Jordan Parhar, and use hashtag RHAPpy Hour. We'll get into your questions later on in the show. We're going to start off by talking about the episode, and then we'll get into what's going on the live feed. So if you don't want to know any spoilers, don't worry about that. You're safe for now, but we'll get into that stuff in a little bit. Guys, let's jump right into this episode. Okay, so we find out Joel is the HOH. He wins this dual HOH competition, and he decides, after going back and forth for quite some time, to nominate two people from the Third Wheel Alliance. McCrae, do we like this move?
Again, I'm not a big fan of Levita. I always try to look at it from the players' perspectives, even if I don't like them. Last week she went after easy targets. She could have went after Third Wheel. She didn't. Joel does this week. I think it's a very dangerous move, but at the same time, I was telling my girlfriend this same thing where it's I wish I was put in the position of making a tough decision. First week, you win HOH, it's easy. You're just oh, I don't even know. I'm just doing this on accident. I don't really know you people. But when it comes to third week, fourth week, or whatever, you really know these people, and you have to actually make a decision. So this is a very ballsy move, one that I didn't think Joel would ever make. But the fact that he did make it shows to me that he's got cojones. I don't know if it's a good move. I'm still undecided. But at the same time, I think it makes he seemed weak maybe in other people's eyes. So maybe this gives him a little bit of a step up in people's eyes, where it's this kid's not afraid to make a big move. So it could work both ways. I think it's still Only time will tell on this opinion. What the fuck, Spencer? You're laughing. I see you laughing over here. What? Come on. What do you gotta say? What are you laughing at? I know it's something. Let's hear it.
No, you just it just was full. It was like it was a ballsy move, and maybe it's not a ballsy move. I don't know.
Well,
I don't mean to dick.
Oh, here we go. It's one of those things though, where it's like only time will really tell, because I mean, there's you can look at it both sides. You can look at it both sides, where it's like, you know, when you cross that line, when you make the first blow against the other side, like most often, they're going to come back after you twice as hard. You know, one of them is going to win HOH next week if you just probably look at, like, the probability of it all, or just, like, how Big Brother always works. The gods always play out in that kind of favor. So, like, one of them is probably going to win next week, and they might take the chance to, like, take a shot at Joel. But the thing about Joel is, you know, he's perceived weak. He's perceived as maybe... I don't know how they perceive him, I guess, but in my head, it just seems like he's not the strongest player, even though he made this really strong move. So he might be looking clear next week. I don't know.
Intriguing stuff. Spencer, what do you think about this? Do you think that Joel is in a position now where he made a big move, and because of the perceived weakness, he can get off from this scot-free?
Yeah, I think there's a really good chance that Levita is going to catch a lot of the blame for the nominations regardless. So Joel's more likable than she is. I think that she's going to be a big target no matter what. I think that his nominations were smart because taking out the third wheel alliance, trying to go after them, unless I'm totally screwed up here, I think that it was a smart move not putting the showmance up, because that keeps loyalty to Jared, who he perceives as the strongest and most reasonable to work with once the three are split up. And I think that Jared's seen as a guy that's good to his word, so if you can make a deal, then I think that's a good deal to make. He doesn't take it personally if he gets put up on the block, so that works out in Joel's favor too. And Raul is the third wheel. So I mean, like that's a good move. He's somebody that could win challenges. He's like an obvious threat. He's a dude that he could have long range in this game without the other two. You know, so I think it's all good. Good gnomes. Let's put up for
Brent
and Ramsey. That wouldn't happen.
Yeah, Brent, we saw on the episode tonight Maddie and Ramsey, sorry, not Maddie and Ramsey. We saw Kelsey and Raul go speak to Joel. Raul kind of awkwardly broke up a conversation.
You think?
It was pretty bad. But how was that the only combo that those guys had other than the Jared conversation that we saw as well? Were those really the only conversations that were had with Joel prior to these nominations from that side of the house?
Well, JP, I don't even know how you can call this a conversation. I mean, basically, Raul walked into the room and said, I don't really know how to do this. And that was it. It was just, nothing. I mean, far be it for me to speak ill of a fellow gay, but he's terrible. How did he even get in the house? Seriously. He can't really talk game with anybody. I love Raul. I think everybody, it's hard to hate on somebody like that, but he's just, he's not providing a lot of it for me right now. I agree.
I kind of don't understand it. I don't understand why everyone hates Raul. Maybe I haven't been watching enough, but what's going on? Why does everyone hate him so much?
He just doesn't bring a lot to the table, I feel like. He's just sort of there. He doesn't know how to talk any game. He can't think of any strategy, and he's just he's not even a comp threat. I mean, at least Gary in Big Brother 1 was a comp threat. Raul, says I play baseball in 8th grade, and this is going to be a piece of cake, and then walks up there and whiffs like a 5-year-old girl. It was terrible.
Well, I think to answer your question, McCrae, as well, I think partially a big part of Big Brother Canada is that the fans love the underdogs, and Raul is not a part of the underdogs. He's with the king and the queen, and he's with them. Is guilty by association. It's not just Raul who's getting the hate. Kelsey has been getting a lot of hate as well, as you guys have talked about on the block. I mean, it's been a thing, and it's unfortunate, but it just happens for whatever reason, and there's no real rhyme or reason to it, right? I mean, why? Because he hasn't done anything. He hasn't done anything.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the point that I'm kind of trying to allude to, is that I get it. I get it, and I get why that he probably should go this week. I mean, either. Yeah, let's not. Yeah, but I think that I think that he is playing okay. Like he's playing like the middle ground. Like he is just like laying it low. Like sure he joined up with like a very strong pair, but like the whole idea of the third wheel is literally that he's the third wheel. I mean, to a degree, and like this is gonna come back to bite him in the ass. But at the same time, like in his head, I bet he was like, oh, third wheel, like they're always gonna go before me. Like to me, in his head, like this is a decent setup that he had. I think it's just like only now is like the bad shakeout of all these bad happenings. Like now he's on the bad side. I don't think in a different season of Big Brother, I don't think it would have happened like that. I think he would have been the safe man, and I think that Jared and Kelsey would have went up. Jared, right. Is that his name? I can never get it. I can never get it. And I'm always like, is that Jared Garrett? I don't know.
Yeah, we just call him the Emmett for season 4.
Exactly. Well, that's the problem. That's the problem is that I want to call him Emmett.
Yeah, Emmett Jr. Okay, so let's talk about the actual HOH win from Joel himself. I mean, we saw the logic here. I mean, there was a lot of talk last week. People were saying, we were saying on my show last week, we were saying when I was on with you guys, Spencer and McCrae, we were like, oh, well, why would Joel want to win this HOH? Oh, well, maybe it was because they really didn't want those pairs that were rivals to team up. And that seems to be a big reason in why they did that, but they didn't really show that too much on the show. So, Spencer, how do you feel about Joel winning this HOH? Do you think that it could ultimately be a mistake for him?
Joel was ready to make a move. He felt like it was necessary for himself to, and I like that. I'm a big Mitch fan. I like how Mitch is playing. I think Mitch is smart. I love something about his cadence of his voice. He's got a very logical. I don't know. I don't know. So I'm a Mitch fan. So I'm glad that Mitch is going to stay. Stays out of the HOH this week. So for Joel, I think that he's going to set some things in motion and kind of get out with not as much blood on his hands as I would have anticipated at the end of this. So yeah, I think that he's made a smart move and he's playing it well.
Yeah, I'm excited to see, and at first I was very concerned, but just based on this episode and seeing what's happening on the feeds, I'm feeling a little bit more confident. Brent, before we get into it too much in the live feeds, one thing that I heard a lot about this week was Levita talking to Joel all the time, incessantly, before making his nominations. How has she not left his side since he's won this HOH?
I wasn't kidding when I said earlier that she was attached to him. Literally, he went up to the HOH room, and this is no spoilers, but he went up to the HOH room about an hour before the show started tonight, and I was thinking, how long is it going to be before Levita is up in the HOH room? I thought maybe a half hour tops. It was 10 minutes. Seriously, she was right up there with him just to hang out. And I don't think it goes beyond our purview here to say that the House probably does blame Levita more for these nominations than Joel. At least that's my feeling.
All right. Well, so that's probably a really good thing for Joel moving forward. And poor Levita. I mean, she really can't catch a break.
She really can't. She really can't.
Right, so, Spencer? It's almost like, I'm trying to come up with an analogy for it, but I can't. It's just she just has the worst luck. It's crazy. And part of it is, I feel like, from her own doing a little bit. She means well, but it's sort of like, I don't know. It's like a kid wanting to get a really great present for his parents or his or her parents for their birthday, but they just keep screwing it up and they keep getting it wrong all the time. And they mean well, but just keep getting it so terribly wrong. And it's just
Or she could have really good luck because she's won 2 head of households out of the 2 that she's really been eligible for, and she wasn't evicted the week that she probably should have been evicted, and this week she's totally safe. So
that's true.
I'd like to have that kind of luck.
Yeah,
but we're also at least 2 or 3 away from jury, and Levita is made a lot of people mad. She's fair. She's in a position to where she is going to catch a lot of blame for a very strong move that's happened in the House. I don't know. I don't see Levita making it to jury. Honestly, I think that if she does, it will either be again like kind of like dumb luck that she just kind of stumbled into winning another HOH or something. But Levita's gonna have a tough time getting much further. I really feel that way. She's put herself up as one of the obvious people to nominate. So like Raul, we were talking about him earlier. Like, okay, I don't want to get too spoilery, but Raul is somebody that you could, like, he could be in a very Victoria position, okay, if he stays this week, okay? I do see him as somebody to take, to just, yes. So, like, I could see depth with him, I could see that happening with Levita. She's not HOH this week. She's not nominated. She's not in any real danger, but there's a lot of just laser vision and focused on hating her. And that's brewing in the house. So dangerous.
I would say that Levita. This is one of those like personal experience. Like, oh, fucking stop talking about your season. But I think that Levita definitely holds a same, like, to me, from my experience, like Levita reminds me of Alyssa.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that on Twitter this week. I saw a few people saying that. Yeah, I did. You're not the only one.
I have not seen that. But to me, it feels like that same thing. Like, even you see on this episode, Cassandra talking to Levita and being like, every time we have a conversation, I feel like you're a space cadet out in the space world, and like. I said to my girlfriend, like, I feel like I've been there before. Like, I know exactly what that's like. And she said the same thing to me, talking about me. But, yeah. But, like, that's the thing where it's like it just seems like a person that it's like, the logic doesn't, like, it doesn't compute. Like, there's something that's not right. I don't know. Like, again, this is my biased view from what we've seen on the show, what we've seen on the feeds. But, I don't know. To me, I just get that same inkling, that same, like, feeling of like, ooh, this would be such a tough player to play with, just because it's like you don't know what they're gonna do. They have their there's something that's not computing. I don't know.
Yeah, Brent. We saw on the show tonight that fight where Cassandra was saying, you're acting like you're in high school," and then she made that face where she was just like. Like a terror when she was like going to hug her. I heard that conversation
went on
for a long time, right? Like how long was that? Oh
my God, I left that conversation and like it apparently still went on for another half hour after I left it already because I just couldn't put up with it anymore. Because it was literally like I saw a GIF on Twitter it was from South Park, I think, of this guy like beating a dead horse, and that's exactly what it was the whole time. Because they just kept saying the same thing over and over in different ways, talking in circles, and like it's amazing to me that they haven't killed each other yet.
Okay, so Spencer, are we gonna have to hire some security in Niagara Falls at the end of the season? Are Cassandra and Levita gonna kill each other?
Oh no, absolutely not. They'll have plenty of time. Levita will have plenty of time to get over that. While Cassandra's in the jury too, so I think there'll be plenty of time for those ones to heal. So, like I said, I think Cassandra's in a better position than Levita. They're going to have plenty of time to get over those differences.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of Cassandra, she is not a have-not this week after the results of that have-not competition with that little twist. I guess we can't say Twisto's twist, but just a normal, regular brand twist from Big Brother.
The Chevy Power Shifter.
What's up with Twistos? They had to have gotten their money's worth last season.
Oh yeah, I guess maybe they were the producers. Well, they did say, Arissa did say in an interview in preseason that there will be less twists this season. So maybe Big Brother thought, well, maybe we don't need to use the Twisto's twist anymore. I have no idea what the logic is.
This is the thing that I want to talk on the blog. This is like remember when I was like, oh, I wanted to talk about something, but I completely forgot it.
Okay.
Like, you remember that?
Yep.
Last Friday, yes, okay. Yes.
Yeah. This is the cliffhanger to that one that no one gave a fuck about. Oh, sorry. Yeah. But this is what it is. I'm curious to know about, like, how many twists were there during last season? Like, in how many? We're at week 3 or 4.
Twist count? Yeah, what was the twist count this time?
Well, right now the twists are we have Brent. What do we have? We have the brothers. We have the wild cards.
right? I can't really think of anything else that's happened.
And then I
But there's
Part of
like,
the twist.
but there's like
Yeah.
passive twists, like the brothers, and then there's
Right. That's not.
you
I don't
know-
even really count that as a twist because it wasn't like they sprung it on them. Like they weren't in the house 5 seconds and they told them about it.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
literally at this point in Big Brother Canada 3, they had the eviction where everybody went in and nominated 2 people in the diary room, and then the House thought they were going to vote on it, and then Canada voted on it, and then the next week it was an instant eviction, and you literally had to like Survivor write down your name, and then they had the veto where Bruno could use the double veto, but then he chose not to use it. Like there were tons of twists in Big Brother
So
Canada.
much stuff. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so like
Yeah.
now like this is Big Brother Canada like for learning? Are they learning like okay, this is not what people want? Are they
Dude.
actually like adapting and being like okay,
They-
well let's go on.
To me, it's like this. And I'd like to hear what Brent and Jordan have to say about this. But I think it's pretty simple. Like Brent just said, the brothers didn't get a chance to play secretly or anything like that. They told them from the very get-go, okay, what was going on. The game is being played like the chessboard was set up this way, okay? You've got the wild cards in there, and then you've got the brothers. I don't think they want to take any unnecessary risks that could throw Tim or Nikki under the bus when, it's a triple eviction, let's get Tim out real quick. Something like that. So I see they're kind of going to play it safe as far as instance triples, just thinking kind of crazy right now. And it's making, the gameplay with the 2 sides setting up shop, and then the middle now with Joel being HOH and kind of taking a swing towards one side. The gameplay is evolving so organically. I think a twist would really screw it up. So I hope that they pulled things back and they're not waiting to unleash something. They're going to really screw some stuff up. I think if they do anything, the next twist should be, and that would be, I think that would be a good twist going into like first week of jury type thing.
Yeah, and I was going to talk about the have-not competition, but speaking of, we're going on about these those twists. What we heard at the end of this episode, and it was very, very quick. If a lot of times I don't know about you guys, but I'll see the credits for one of these shows and I'll be like, okay, switch the channel or turn the TV off. But like at the very end of the show, the announcer guy was like, "Stay tuned for Thursday's episode where there will be a fake double eviction."
Yeah.
Greg does a much better impression of that guy than I do. So fake double eviction, guys. Brent, we speculated on this last week. So
Right,
interesting.
and didn't you poo-poo it because you thought they needed to get people out of the house?
No, that was actually Mike Bloom who poo-pooed.
Okay.
You've
Yes,
done.
I will have words with Mike Bloom then. Yes, but you're right. It was Mike Bloom. Yes, I'm actually shocked that they are doing a fake double because if it works the way I think it's going to work, they're going to evict whoever is Joel's evictee this week, if it's Kelsey or Raul or somebody else, if the veto's juice, and then they're going to have like a whole like night of Big Brother in one night. But then I'm thinking that when the person starts to go out the door, like literally, like they're voted out, you're getting ready to walk out the door, and Arissa says, "Oh, psych, it really wasn't," and we had it announced to
like
Canada this whole time.
Frank
Right.
BB14
But that will expose. Hopefully, that will expose a lot of interesting stuff in the house. I'm not sure it will though, because I feel like most people kind of know where they stand in the house right now.
Well, yeah, no, absolutely. But and this is the thing: it's a great twist to not run the risk of losing any of your big players either. So
Exactly, right? That's the best part about it. For sure, right? You don't lose any of your big players in this game. So Spencer, what do you think about have you seen because there has been a fake double eviction. They have done them in other international versions before. Have you seen any footage of this at all, Spencer?
I've seen a fake. This will be my first.
This will be your first. Okay. McCrae, what about you? Hey, McCrae, you haven't seen it
This
either?
will be my first as well. This just seems bonkers.
Because okay, Brent, did you go and look on YouTube at what this is like?
Well, no, not after I heard Alex describing it to me on Twitter, one of the other live feeders. But I mean, I have to imagine it's very similar to like what happened in Big Brother 9 when James was walking out the door, and then they said, "Oh, surprise!"
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or even in Big Brother 16 when Victoria was evicted and I think she was saying goodbye to everybody, right? And Julie said, surprise, it's a reset because you pressed the button. So yeah, I think it's going to be something like that.
Oh, that reset! What a great twist that was.
Still reset.
Yeah. But that's why I'm glad that they're doing this instead. It's all going to be in a night, and we'll get to see it. But I actually went and watched this on YouTube this morning. The Big Brother Australia 2013, the season that Tim was on, in which they did the fake double eviction. And what they did was they grabbed this guy Ben, and they hid him in the house, and then they gave him some extra power. And I didn't watch the episode after that, so I don't know exactly what the payoff was. So kind of poor research by me.
Right, great research, JP.
Yeah, exactly. But so I don't know. So maybe they're gonna hide this person in the high roller room, because thanks to some insight that I have, I know that you can access. Well, I think people can figure this out with the secret room in Big Brother Canada 2. You can access that high roller room in the house from outside of the house. So we could actually have somebody walk out on stage with Arissa and then go right back in and hide in the high roller room for a little bit, and then who knows what power they would get. Maybe a secret veto would make sense, or something along those lines. Who knows?
I would prefer that they would do something like that, where they would actually have like the house guests walk outside, interview with Arissa, go back in secretly, because like I think 14 was pretty much like, Frank, you've been eliminated, but then also like, oh wait, Frank, no, you're sticking in. Like, it was pretty much like Frank never walked out of the house. Like, the fact that they get to walk out of the house, like, it solidifies it in the minds of the other house guests. So it's even a bigger surprise when this person will walk back in. I think that's the best way that they should do it. When I heard about this twist, I was like, this is insanity. And this is a non-twist, which I think is amazing and awesome. I'm so glad that Big Brother Canada is going this route instead of like the constant like, oh, let's just put up Andrew and Sabrina. Or, that's what it was, right? Like,
Yep.
Yeah, I'm glad that it's not just like a total house wrecker. Like this is something that could be really fun. This is going to be something really it's going to throw a wrench in a lot of people's plays. I think this is going to be a fun one. And I'm just like really personally happy that it's not something that's as a game changer, Which
I'm with you as well. Keep the twists within the game, like amongst the house guests, and don't let the outside influence completely take over, right? Because then it kind of takes away from, I don't know. It feels like for me the
science.
The science of the game.
If you take away that control, then it's like, what are we basing anything off of? I think it's like, if we look at Big Brother as like an ecosystem, and we're watching these rats move throughout the house, and we're watching them eat whatever, and they're going through the maze. It's like, you don't want to introduce something that doesn't make sense with the control. Like, this is science. Like
like Biodome, bro.
Just like Biodome.
Just like
you don't
Biodome.
want Pauly Shore and
got to
Brendan
return to
Fraser getting in your
homeostasis.
shit. Yeah.
that was Stephen Baldwin.
Oh, yes. Oh, Baldwin. They're both horrible actors. So.
Hey, you know what I would like to see him do? Well, like, Canada is good about using the vetoes creatively, and I would like to see a new use of a veto, like a new, different color veto that could have different powers and be used differently. That could in turn help save some, but at least it would be a fun twist, and it would be something that would be different and creative, but still within the realm of the good pure format. So.
For sure. Yeah, well, I think Dallas would like that too, because that last week when he won, he seemed to think that he also had the power to nominate someone as well, but in reality he just had the veto. Okay, so quickly, guys, one thing I wanted to talk about from the episode before we jump into the live feed portion of the show is the Have Not competition. It was this baseball comp, which I really liked to see. I was like the sports comps. It was entertaining, but we saw Tim kind of really lose it in this comp. He throws the baseball bat, and Maddie is like, ah! It was like making a sound as if she like got stabbed, and it was like, okay, come on, I watched the replay, Maddie. It hit you in the leg. Not really the biggest thing in the world. But what did you think about Tim's outburst, McCrae? Did that surprise you?
It surprised me 100%. I think that like production, like in the DR, had to been like, all right, you have to say you're sorry. Like, it seemed like totally an out of character thing from Tim. Like, sure, Tim is wild and crazy. I don't know, like, I didn't watch Australia. I don't know anything about him. I didn't watch Australian Apprentice. Like, but it just seemed like off character for him to throw a shit fit like that. Again, sorry, but like, to me, I was just like, like this seems not character. Like, this seems off character. This doesn't seem like you. Like, have you been hiding this little temper tantrum fit guy?
Slop stress, bro.
Well, and like, but slop stress. This guy hasn't even been on slop once. Like, you don't even feel slop stress.
You don't have to go on the slop stress, and then you don't want to be on there.
Oh, you want slop stress? Get on it once and then try to lose the next game you're gonna play. Like, slop stress is pretty much like after you've been on it once, you're pretty much willing to die so that you never go on it again. Like, that's slop stress. Being like, I want to go on it once. That's just being a little bitch. I'm sorry, but like. Come on,
Tim likes things to go his way, and he didn't know the sport. His team was losing. The other team was rubbing it in. Now, you know, they're going to be.
Come on, like, welcome to North America, bro. Like,
we talk shit, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this is Australia, homie. You know, Chazwazer's here. I don't know. To me, it seemed like such a. It seemed like it wasn't a misplay by the production or anything like that, because it was a misplay by Tim, because this dude is garnering a brand. Like, he knows that he's a brand. He knows everything about, like, but this was a total misplay for his brand. And when you are dealing with international people that have come here, that have international fame, like, you have to think about stuff like that, like brand, because these people think about brand non-stop. These are all about brand. This is all about, like, oh, this is pushing Tim's brand. That's why he's doing this. Like,
well, I personally did not like to see him tearing the setup. I didn't like to see that the hedge being messed up. I know that was like very minor, but people work hard for that. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty aesthetic game. And this was a fun game. It was supposed to be fun. I do agree with McCrae that I think that this was, it was a little bit of a tantrum. It was unnecessary.
It was a tantrum. It was entertaining, though. That's the thing, is like, it still gets points for entertainment. But the other thing, I want to just say, quickly, Trevor Boris, that's his name. Shout out to Trevor for. I mean, even this HOH that was in this episode was amazing. I think this was a great one. You could do so many creative shots with them. Looks like they're kissing. Just like brilliant HOH competition. So and I think that going into this have-not competition, I think have-nots are kind of a throwaway competition. But I think that this dude is so talented. Like, even he puts in the work for this, like, this have-not competition, because I the whole time was like, this is a competition that I would kill. This I would love to play in. I'd love to be in it in any regard. Joel's being the baseball announcer, I would love to do that. Here comes Jared up to pitch, and like, I've got my baseball voice all set up. Like, I would have destroyed this hosting job. Like, everything about this comp was just amazing, and I really hope that U.S. has their eye on Canada, because, you know, there's a lot that they should be taking away from these games, as they're really fun. They're team-building games, you know?
Right. JP, the thing that's lost in all this is that they were drinking the entire time. That's the thing that they don't do in the United States. They were literally hammered, and by the way, I just want you to know, they totally edited that whole thing with the have-not competition and what happened on the field and then what happened afterwards. Like, Mitch apparently was so butthurt about, sorry, that's a really bad thing to say about him, about the fact that he had a really terrible reaction and apparently did something that he was really ashamed of. Did we see that in this episode? No, because he's their golden boy and they don't want him to look bad. Again, with Tim, they really underplayed how much his little bat incident caused them to really fight against each other. Apparently, Jared and Dallas were literally in each other's face on the field. And, like, it was really tough out there. Yeah, like, when they came back in, they were pissed. Yeah. Like, and the feeds didn't come back on for another 2 hours, so I don't really know how long. I mean, if you think about how long that competition took, and you know that there was beer over there for them to drink the entire time, and if you also know that one of the teams realized they were probably going to be have-nots the minute this competition ended, and were chugging that beer like crazy, which was Tim's team, that's where all this emanated from.
Interesting. So was Maddie also upset at Tim for throwing the bat, Brent?
Yeah, she was just crying about it. Like, it was a way for her to get attention. Come on. Like, I mean, of course I didn't, like, I mean, this is all filled in after the fact. I couldn't, we weren't actually watching it on the feeds, but from what I could gather, it was just a free-for-all, like, where they were just all really, really pissed at each other. And by the way, Big Brother did a really good thing by letting them choose teams, because of course they chose people from their own side. So then the teams reflected the dynamics in the house, and that's what you got this amazing rivalry and this outburst in the competition. If it had been a team like Jared and Dallas and Maddie and Kelsey, you would never have got them fighting with like other people like Mitch and Nikki and whatnot.
It's a beautiful thing when Big Brother does that. Really, I would have loved that.
That's another tip of the hat to Trevor Boris, that like he set this whole thing up that is a good setup for these people to start really hating each other and over something like food. Like that's what we're here for. We're here for this like sociological game. Like punish some people and don't punish others, and watch them just devour each other. Oh, love it. Good job.
Yeah, great job. Great job by production. Okay, guys, let's jump into the live feed portion of the show. So if you do not want to know any spoilers for this episode and who won the veto and what the plans are, who's going home, that kind of stuff, then now is the time we'll have to bid you farewell. But don't worry, we'll be back on Wednesday night after the episode. I'll be talking with Dr. Neha Serene. She'll be returning to the RHAPpy Hour, and we'll be breaking down the latest happenings in the BBCan for House. Okay, Brent, let's do it. Spoilers. What's happening? Who won the veto?
Amazingly, my favorite person in the house won the veto. Dallas wins again.
Oh, Big Daddy, as Christine was calling him last week. Dallas has won the veto. All right, interesting. So what have been the ramifications of this, Brent?
Well, the instant ramifications of it are, it was some sort of a competition. Spencer's telling me that it was some sort of a hold 'em, fold 'em-ish challenge, but I'm still unclear how Dallas won the power of veto, but he's also stuck in a costume for the week as a cactus, which, by the way, I said on Twitter looks like a Yeti, which I think really fits him. And then Kelsey, I think, won some money. She won like $1,000, and Raul got a punishment where he had to complete 1,000 ropes of a bull. So, Raul looks exactly like a cowboy, so I'm sure that's going to go over well.
No beast mode cowboy in this season. Just I don't know what we want to call.
I hope they took that. I hope they took a hint and like, okay, well let's do that. Let's make them rope some. I think that's a cool punishment. That kind of stuff kind of happened after Big Brother 15, where they started to like punish people and like make them do miserable stuff.
Well, hold on. I recall Spencer wearing a very entertaining chicken costume in BB15.
That is true.
That was not miserable. That was hilarious, and it was enjoyable for all.
That was like 1,000,000 degrees. I hated wearing that. I'm taking off like my forehead, leave the hat on my name that says Spencer. Can you please put on the chicken hat?
By the way, JP, I really wanted to quickly tell you that Raul did complete his bull roping punishment today. I will tell you that Mitch was the first person in Big Brother history that I have seen who posited the idea that, maybe you don't want to complete this challenge because you're currently on the block, and if people know you can't compete in HOH next week, if that's the punishment he would get for not completing said punishment, then they would have reason to keep you. So I don't know if maybe Raul went to Big Brother and maybe there was no punishment. I don't know what there was, but apparently either Raul decided to go ahead and complete the punishment, which I think is a bad call.
Yeah, for sure.
But or maybe that wasn't what the punishment was. Maybe he couldn't play in veto next week or something like that. That wouldn't really get him much with the other house guests. But it does bring to light the fact that Mitch is probably the best player in the house right now, because I was happy to see that.
Well, we've seen this on BB16. What was it? Brittany, I believe.
Yep, yeah. Brittany with the soccer.
Well, we were saying that, but I don't think was anybody in the house saying
that? No, you're 100% right.
Yeah,
excuse me, you're 100% right. But this is, I think, probably the first time that we saw it there. Again, I think she was on the block, but it was one of those things where it's like, why wouldn't you throw that? We talked about it on the block, me and Spencer. Like, why wouldn't you throw that? Why wouldn't you, like, try to show people that you have, you have less opportunity opportunities in the future, and that
Yourself
means,
look weak, say I can't complete a week. Obviously, you can evict me next week. Yeah, but instead she went with the whole, like, I'm going to show them I'm a strong woman and I'm a strong competitor.
Yeah.
That's exactly the wrong thing to do.
Absolutely.
Totally. I mean, like, all we need to think about is Big Brother 8, okay, Jamaica, when she got that punishment from, I think it was a veto competition, where she had to wager, I think she had to sit out 5 consecutive HOH competitions.
God.
And that was the greatest thing that happened in Jamaica's game, because everybody was like, well, she can never win head of household. Why the hell would I get rid of her? She's just chilling. She's hanging out. And she rode all the way to Final Four as a result of that. So I think that anytime you have one of these things where you cannot win HOH, don't do the punishment of the lassoing or whatever the heck Raul is doing, because people are going to keep you around if you can't win. I mean, you're not a threat to anybody. So that's just very interesting to me. Brent, where's the house lying right now? I mean, Dallas, I feel like he's not going to use the veto, correct?
No, he's already told Raul and anybody who's willing to listen that he's not going to use the veto. So no, the veto's not going to be used. It's going to be Kelsey or Raul who's going to go home. It's very up in the air right now, and this could change 1,000 times until Thursday. But if I had to guess right now, I would say it's probably going to be Kelsey, although that's what Joel wants, and that's what Levita wants. And I think that's what Mitch wants, but there are other people in the house who they've been talking to Dallas, the brothers, Cassandra, and Tim, who are trying to put the idea that maybe it's a good idea to evict Raul, because he's somebody who could be, as Spencer said, Victoria to the end, and instead we should evict Raul instead and keep Kelsey, because that keeps a target on the other side of the house in the showmance of Jared and Kelsey. So it's, if I had to bet, I think it would be Kelsey, because I think Joel's probably going to get his way. But it's close.
Yeah.
Spencer. Go ahead, Spencer.
I was just going to say, you run the risk of taking out the other side of the house. Without Kelsey, there is no showmance. If there's a showmance, there's at least another side of the house still. You know, if you run the risk of sending Kelsey home, what's really that? You know, is that much? And that's a situation you take. You could dissolve the entire side of the house, and then what? Then it's Joel, Levita versus the people they don't trust, and Dallas and Maddie and Ramsey. There's no telling what all could shake out once there's no other side of the house. There's no enemy.
I agree with that in a vacuum. However, Joel thinks and Mitch thinks that once Kelsey is out of the way, that they'll both be able to control and have better relationships with Jared and with Raul, respectively. Mitch is particularly close to Raul, and Joel has a working relationship with Jared. And I think once Kelsey's out of there, then they think that they can bond with them, and they won't be so inseparable as a third wheel.
However, if this is what they are thinking, in that, if Joel's thinking, if Kelsey's gone, then I can work with Jared, and this will be great. Isn't this plan a little flawed, McCrae? Because we saw in week 2, Jared specifically went after Levita and Shari only because Levita wanted to get rid of Kelsey in week 1.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the way that I guess I've seen it, it was pretty much like a lot of people are just like, well, it really doesn't matter, because it's like one of those pro-con kind of things where you can just set up the pros and cons of it, and no matter how many times you write whatever down, like, it's pretty much going to even out no matter what. People think that if Kelsey goes, that Jared has nothing to lose now, and he's going to be stronger, which I kind of personally agree with. Once you lose your thing that you really cared about, then you are going to be guns blazing. It doesn't matter. Let's go. Yeah, and I've been there.
I cannot see Jared and the phrase "guns blazing" in the same sentence.
No, come on. Like, all right, think about it. Like, I don't know. Like, usually it happens though, where it's like, you lose your significant other, and it's all out war.
Right.
So if he loses that, then it's just gonna be hell on earth for everyone else in the house, because this dude has a mission. What?
It could at least give a motive. What I'm just going to say is that it would for sure facilitate a motivation for revenge. Exactly.
You're starting the great story.
Which would just get us through the middle part of the game, but it's not any kind of strategy that would take Jared far.
Right, but to be clear though, the revenge though is not from Jared is not going to be directed at Joel. Like Jared and Joel are still very cool at this point. Amazingly, it's amazing to me how Joel has been the HOH. And the funny part is that everyone thinks that Levita basically strong-armed him and influenced him into these nominations. Joel doesn't want people to think that. He wants people to think he's his own man and that she didn't do this. But it's working to his advantage from a game point of view that people are blaming it all on Levita. Jared even got into a fight with Levita, which I've never seen him raise his voice to other people, and said, you know, that's really bad. I can't remember exactly how he said it. It was in his Jared way of fighting with people. Like, it's really bad of you.
Brent, was it more intense or less intense than the Dallas fight we saw on the show tonight?
Oh, it was definitely less intense than that one. Yes, okay. even less intense than that one.
Because that even seemed like, and if you want to explain that as well from the feeds, like for me, like watching on the show, if like that was like, let's say Greg last year or like Andrew Gordon in that spot, it would have been so fiery. But instead, he was just like, yeah, you know, you got your team and we got ours, and yeah, let's go.
Yeah, that's the thing. That Jared's just not like that. It was his version of raising your voice is just not like mine would be if I was in the house, you know, for instance. But it was interesting to see him. Like I said, Levita is the one who is paying the price for these nominations. It's not Joel. I would say even Joel is even more under the radar than Mitch at this point. I would say Mitch has even gotten a little bit of heat from people here and there, and Joel really hasn't. So that's intriguing to me because Joel was the one who has the levers of power this week.
Okay. One thing before we get into the questions, Brent, that I wanted to ask you. Sorry, Spencer, do you have something?
Well, I just wanted to kind of talk real between the four of us about Jared real quick. All right?
Yeah.
For real, just as people that we've watched him play, we've watched him on the feeds, we feel like we know a little bit about this guy. If Kelsey goes and he's looking for somebody, who would pick him up? I would for sure. I'd want Jared on my side. What about you?
Certainly, yes. He's a loyal vote. I feel like he would go down.
He's a mercenary at this point. He's a soldier for hire.
But Jared is like he's somebody that can. I think that he's still, just because the way he carries himself, I think he's got a potential to go deep. If he can get Kelsey away from him. And I definitely that he reminds y'all of Wayne Campbell a little bit.
Hold on, Spencer. You just Arkansas internet your way through that one. Hold on, go back.
What was that? Oh, sorry. What was that? He had a black hat the other day, and he looked like Wayne from Wayne's World.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that totally works. I have not heard that yet, but maybe Earth Dog on Twitter can make a Photoshop of Jared with Wayne's World.
Good Kelsey and Jared, with Garth, and that would be good.
That would be pretty sweet. That would be pretty sweet.
Sorry, my dial-up's poor tonight.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's all good. It happens. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it's certainly an excellent point. I mean, if you're in the game and you see an honest guy who, when he was HOH, he just was like point blank, hey, Levita, Shari, I'm going after you. You went after my side of the house, so I'm going after you now. Like, he was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He doesn't lie. I think people view him as trustworthy, and if Kelsey goes this week, I think that's really good for his game, to be honest with you, because like Spencer, you said, that side pretty much kind of it's no longer really a threat. It's just Raul and Jared is for hire. Back to the feeds before we get into the questions. Brent, today Tim had a conversation with Cassandra about his knowledge of Big Brother Canada, and he kind of revealed some stuff. Do you want to get into that?
Well, yeah, he said that he was. I thought you were talking about the thing about where he mentioned that he had watched this past season of Survivor.
That's what I'm. Not that, but let's talk about both.
Oh, okay. Well, he had mentioned to Cassandra, or he had mentioned to, I think it was Cassandra, that he watched this past season of Survivor. He was talking about voting blocks. And I had missed this conversation. I had to go back and look at it because Taryn brought it up on Twitter, because Taryn is another one of the live feeders. And he had mentioned that obviously Tim has watched, Rob has a podcast or something in Survivor, because we were going on about the prevalence of voting blocks and is the voting block strategy a new thing. And so that's what Tim kind of thinks is going on this year in Big Brother Canada. I don't know that that's necessarily true, but it does seem to be a more fluid situation than maybe we normally have.
Okay, and then so the conversation as well about Big Brother Canada 2. Brent, did you see that?
Yes, but I forget. What did he say? I
Okay,
forget.
yeah. So he went to and here we go. Look at old Jordan Parhar giving you guys some
Oh yeah,
live
here it
feed
is. Go ahead. Yeah.
inside stuff. But yeah, so he was talking to Cassandra, and he actually
He watched the
revealed-
entire season. Yeah.
Yeah, so he revealed
Yeah.
that to Cassandra, which I think is a big deal because he went around for the first little while saying like,
Right.
what's a nomination? What's how does the power of veto work? Like all this kind of stuff. But now that Cassandra knows, do you think that this could hurt him, Brent?
Of course, she's gonna go tell people, like, especially if her butt gets on the line. I mean, like, why would you go through the whole spiel of trying to sell that and then blow it? Like, we talked about this, I can't even remember what show or what podcast, how hard it is to keep a secret in the Big Brother house because you got nothing better to do. People think, oh, it's easy, just don't tell them. And of course, that would be easy for us because we're sitting on the outside doing things in our life and we're busying ourselves with things. But they're stuck in a house with nothing else to do. At some point, he says, it just gets to him. He wants to tell somebody, by the way, yeah, I really did watch Big Brother Canada 2 at some point, and it just totally blows his game to smithereens. Like, seriously. Any game that he had at that point with Cassandra, I feel like is hurt irreparably by the fact that she knows now he was totally smoking them the whole time when he was saying that he didn't know anything about it.
Go ahead, Spencer.
I was just going to say it seems like I did not see this conversation where he revealed that, but at certain times I feel like people will reveal their level of fandom or their they know what's
Right.
going on just to demonstrate a certain amount of competence.
Right.
Of like, hey, I'm not this big a fool. Like, come with me. And so it's not the dumbest thing that he's just running his mouth. Hopefully there was some of that, like, let's draw you in and keep it close. But I mean, honestly, it's information that at some point I don't think it's going to hurt Tim. Not bad. I don't think that it depends on how it's used. But at a certain point, if she's like, he's seen Big Brother Canada 2, you'd be like, okay. It really at a certain point it becomes very benign information. So
Yeah, that's a good point.
Jordan, I forgot about this part of the conversation where Tim somehow made the analogy of Levita to Sabrina, and I do not really see how that is applicable. I mean, Sabrina was pretty terrible with a, it's us against them mentality. Levita is sort of in no man's land at this point, and she can definitely win some stuff. She's feisty. I mean, I know they're feisty. That's about where I think that's where the comparison ends.
See, it won't hurt him at all because he didn't even watch it closely.
Right.
Am I the only one, though, in this little group here that doesn't like Levita?
No, I think Brent, you said you don't really like Levita, right? Or
No,
you
I
said-
said-
I like her.
Team
She's
Levita.
a train wreck, but she's our train wreck. I love Levita. I really do. Yeah.
Like,
I don't know what it is. I do not know
Levita-
what it is.
Levita is you made an Alyssa connection earlier. Like, let's blend it a little farther with Alyssa and Devin. Okay. Hey, I'm just saying, like, right now, like 2 weeks. The stuff that's going on now.
What,
is
2 weeks?
happen.
Wait, go back. You broke a little bit. What, 2 weeks? What are you saying, 2 weeks?
I'm saying that Levita is laying the groundwork for what's going to happen this next 2 weeks. This double eviction obviously will be influenced. She could be one that goes, or she could be one that's so these people get back in. They're extra pissed off at her. I mean, she's going to be a catalyst. Her behavior is going to be a catalyst for the next few weeks. So she's a great character. I mean, like, you can like her or hate her, and she's not getting any kind of, her portrayal is not very good. I think she should be given more of like a Philip Shepard edit. You know what I'm saying? Because they could definitely make that happen, like The Specialist a little bit. But I don't know. Levita's playing a big role right now. So
I think it's interesting. I mean, there are times where I do feel like, yes, Levita should be getting a Philip Shepard like edit, but then like it's sort of like I saw someone else tweet this as well. Like, Levita's smart, but she's just she's playing dumb, kind of. You know what I mean? Like, she's smarter than this. Like, with a lot of things she's doing, I think she has good ideas. It's just her execution is just really poor. I don't know. It's just something is not computing and it's not translating. Personally, I think the Devin Bro comparison for anyone is tough. I mean, Devin one of a kind, Spencer. So I don't know. I feel like I was saying Dallas was kind of like Devin a few weeks back. I mean, even that was a little bit of a stretch. So I don't know if we can say that.
Isn't it like, God love him, I love Devin.
I do too. Devin's one of my favorites.
Devin is synonymous to attached to a player that's just going, just it has potential of a ticking time bomb. Like anything could happen. Because I mean, she's even threatened to, like, leave at times. So, I mean, she, the other day she was just saying that she didn't want to be there because there's all this slander and stuff, and it's just give me a break.
Here's something that we should talk about, because literally I've heard her talk about that, and I think that's maybe where the Alyssa comparison kind of started. But because Alyssa would say that all the time, like, I'm gonna leave. I don't want to get our too little, but that's the thing that we should talk about. Like, is that a valid gameplay strategy? Just by being like, I give up, it's over, I want to go home, I'm walking in DR all the time telling them I want to go home. Like, is that valid? Like, for someone like me that's in the house where it's like, oh, well, you just, like, you're spitting on all the people that tried out that couldn't get here, and you're just going to walk away. But at the same time, like, it's a valid gameplay move because it shows that you are defeated, you have given up. Like, it's something that I kind of like fight with myself about, because literally Alyssa did that, and I was like, this is travesty, this is blasphemy, you shouldn't say that. But in my head now, I'm like, well, that's kind of a good move. Like, that's kind of a good move because I'm getting upset about her. So, like, is that a decent move? I don't know.
Yeah, Brent, what do you think? Brent, what do you think about that?
I love the move, especially if you can explain it at the end and say, I know I might have done this at this time, but it was I just wanted to appear weak, I wanted to appear vulnerable. It succeeded handsomely for Levita during week 2, when she, like I said, she totally fell on her sword for Shari. She was trying to, you guys should keep Shari. I want to go home. She's an honorable person. Just keep her. She should stay in the game. And of course, they totally ignored her and kept Levita. By the way, I want to say quickly that I saw Kelsey in the Have Not room talking to Raul and Jared, and Kelsey said to Jared, well, I think the house really needs to respect what Raul and I decide this week.
No, they don't.
And Jared said, I love you, honey, but that's not going to happen. Like, the house is going to do what benefits them, not what you guys decide.
Oh man,
that was rich.
Brent, did you also see Kelsey? I think Kelsey was like practicing a speech or something, and she was saying like, "Yeah, I've played this game and I've just been like so nice and honorable and like all this stuff." And I was just like, what?
Yes. Wait, can I just tell you that they finally admitted to each other that Jared and Kelsey see themselves as the good guys. Like, I mean, I feel like we're always the hero of our own story, but I love the fact that they said it out loud. Like, like we're the good guys here, aren't we? Like, come on. Like,
there's something to be said about the psychologicalness of that, because no matter what, every single season there's always someone that's like, we're the good guys. We're fighting evil here. America's going to see this. Guys. Yeah, they're the bad guys. It's us versus them. No matter what, every single season there's someone that says that. I just want everyone to go home and think about if they've ever said that to themselves, where it's like, oh yeah, I'm just fighting the good fight. Like, when I'm talking about, Donald Trump, when I'm talking about Hillary Clinton, I'm fighting the good. Like, if you ever thought that, you're wrong. 100% you're wrong. Whatever fight you're fighting, you're wrong. 100%.
Yeah, that's why. If you're a house guest, if you're in there, you take the Ian Terry approach of Ian went in there and Ian was like, yeah, I just assumed like people like would not like me. Like, I've heard Ian say that. Like, and and because of that, Ian, people loved Ian. He was Ian was so great on BB14. He was the good guy. Dan was the bad guy. Although some people were cheering for Dan, of course, but because he was playing such a great game. But everyone loved Ian, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that's such a huge thing, is going into Big Brother for future players. Don't assume that Canada loves you. Assume Canada hates you, because then when you come out of the house, if they do like you, then it's like, oh, wow, people like me. This is great. Whereas, like, you know, for me coming out, and I'm sure, like, all three of us have come out and we got hate when we came home, right? Like,
yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
to varying degrees. Spencer, like, it's ridiculous what you had to go through. I mean,
Absolutely.
I got nothing compared to what you guys had to go through, but I went thinking, oh man, everyone's gonna hate me because of the whole my idiotic move and stuff like that, and people did, and people still do, but because I didn't expect. I expected 3 people to like me, and there are those 3 people or I didn't expect that, and the fact that there were 3 people that liked me, I was blown away. So that's my little rant for today. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We're out of time for questions, unfortunately. Spencer McCrae, what's next for On the Block?
Next, well, I guess tonight the new Survivor with all the fixings. So if anybody wants to tune into that, that will be dropping this evening, probably the next 30 minutes or so.
Max and Corinne.
So Max and Corinne,
what's Corinne's last name?
Kaplan.
Corinne Kaplan, who is just a great character on Survivor. We've kind of hijacked them. We've got them into our little zone. Our web, and now they're doing little Survivor updates for us, and I will tell you right here, right now, that it's one of my favorite podcasts right now. It's the most, yeah, and if you like Survivor, go check this out because this is my pride and joy. I haven't touched this thing, I haven't done anything with it, but I'm so proud of them because it's such a good show. Everyone go check that out if you are a Survivor fan.
Yeah, and tomorrow, Shield Show will be on. I believe that's around like 7:30 Central Time, also on our YouTube channel. And then we will be back on Thursday night, I believe around 9 o'clock Central, to after the episode, to just talk our game. So please tune in.
Right.
Yeah, we got a lot going on.
Got a lot going on. Okay, dial-up bullshit.
So, I can't wait for Spencer to go back and watch this video to see like the points in when he was talking and it kind of like the dial-up like screwed him up and his voice went funny. Yeah, it was.
No, it's like you just get really slow, like. And then I said to Jared.
I thought it was just me. Like I didn't want to see anything. But it wasn't.
That's why I was like, okay, Spencer, like whatever Spencer says is so good that I'm like, no, wait, Spencer, we gotta recapture the magic because I know you said something.
I have my microphone on drunk mode, I think.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
I've got my life on drunk mode. All right.
All right, guys, if you enjoyed this episode of the RHAPpy Hour, we thank you for joining us. Make sure you don't miss an episode. Subscribe on iTunes. Go to robhaswebsite.com/RHAPpy-hour. That's happy hour with an R at the front, or go to robhaswebsite.com/RHAP-ups. So you get this podcast and everything else that's going on reality TV RHAP-ups. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube as well so you can see the great faces that Spencer was making as his dial-up internet was freezing. Okay, guys. Also, one other thing I almost forgot to mention. Review contest as well for those of you guys listening. So if you would like to win a Jordan Parhar related prize at the end of this season, go to iTunes, so robhaswebsite.com/RHAPpy-hour, leave a rating and a review for the RHAPpy Hour. Let me know what you think, and it doesn't matter. It can be good, it can be bad, but if you want to win a prize, all you got to do is do that. End of the season, I'm going to take out 3 names and throw them all in a hat, draw 3 out, and you guys are all going to win something cool from me. Although we'll see if it's actually. I'll let you guys decide afterwards. Sorry, Spencer.
Jordan Parhar related.
Yes, it's
pretty
Jordan
vague,
Parhar.
bro. That's pretty vague.
It's pretty vague, but it's a prize nonetheless. It's a prize nonetheless. So if you guys want to do that, I've already got some coming in. I've really appreciated those already. If you guys have left one, so keep them coming. Makes a difference and helps people find the show. Okay, guys, we need a hashtag for this episode. I was thinking we could go hashtag Jared's World because he looks like he could be in Wayne's World, or we could go hashtag Spencer's Dial-Up.
I'm partial to Spencer's dial-up.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. So tweet us after the show. Leave some comments at robhaswebsite.com. I love checking out what you guys have to say. I always read the comments. So let me know what you guys thought of the show and tweet us using the hashtag Spencer's Dial-up. You can follow Brent on Twitter. He's at OneLuckyGay. I am at Jordan Parhar. Spencer is at Spencer B. Clausen, and McCrae is at McCrae Chum. Don't forget to tune in this Wednesday live after the episode. Again, I'll be talking to Neha Serene from Big Brother Canada 3. She's got a lot of great opinions on this season, and it should be a really great podcast. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us.
Let's give a big shout out to Brent.
And let's give a great big shout out to Brent.
I'm here all the time.
Thank you.
I've been on 3 times in 4 days, so yeah, thank you.
You're killing it. Killing it with a live feed, man. You're the unsung hero of the song.
Thank you.
Brent is killing it. Brent, Taryn, Alex, all our live feed guys, they're killing it.
Absolutely.
You guys let us
Absolutely.
know.
Loving them.
Seriously, send all of them some love, seriously, because I don't think Brent, Taryn, and Alex get as much love as you guys deserve, for real.
Yeah.
It's a tough job. It's a tough
I'm
job.
following him right
I
now.
love Alex. He's always like, he always says very kind things about me. So he's.
Oh yeah, Alex loves you.
I'd fly to his hometown and like fight somebody for him probably with the nice things he said about me. And I'm a terrible fighter. It would just basically, I would go to his hometown and get beat up for him. Is what I'm saying. So.
Oh man. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. We'll see you next time. For McCrae Olson, Spencer Clausen, and Brett Walgamot, I'm Jordan Parhar. # Spencer's Dial Up. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Peace out.